Hit me, honey, like a beat up drum, all the way till your hands go numb, all the way back to where I'm from. So play me, baby, like an old guitar.
Folk music has been a tradition throughout American history and is an art form that has been used to tell many different stories. It is an expression of art that has reflected the struggle of the working class throughout the 20th century and has helped preserve personal histories in the face of changing social conditions. American folk music draws on the lived experience of ordinary people, who were and often still are defined and limited by cultural constructions of race, class, and gender. Folk music takes its original roots from slave spirituals, which were a slave's religious expression of their troubles. At the beginning of the 20th century, folk music began to reflect the struggle of the American workers who were fighting for child labor laws and an 8-hour workday. Workers and folk singers gathered together to sing songs that helped them cope with their rough work environments. Later in the 1930s, folk music mirrored the pain of the stock market crash and the workers who were displaced all over America. Woody Guthrie, one of these workers, who would later become one of America's folk heroes, wrote hundreds of songs that set the breadth of the issues that folk songs would come to be about. The 60s brought new challenges to the average American that inspired new forms of folk music that supported the civil rights movement and protested the Vietnam War, creating a period of folk revival that would fascinate many for years to come. The artists of this time not only sang with a great political commentary, but they also expressed a promise for change within the meaning and emotion of their music. Some of the artists that led this movement included Bob Dylan, Joan Baez, and Joni Mitchell. The popularity and relevance of folk music began to wane in the 70s and 80s due to the war ending, but a few artists like James Taylor and Suzanne Vega still persevered, singing about the evolving political climate and Reagan-led economics. Folk music today has taken an interesting turn. A new genre, indie folk, has taken over the scene, with bands like Mumford & Sons and the Lumineers, which blend edgy pop with traditional song elements and acoustic instruments.
Electronic music originated in the late 1960s and early 70s with artists like Giorgio Moroder, Yellow Magic Orchestra, and most notably Kraftwerk, with their new tech sound and the song Robots.
We are the robots. We are the robots. We are the robots. We are the robots.
These artists became revolutionary for their usage of the drum machine and the Moog synthesizer, an instrument that was created in the 1960s and assisted in the founding of EDM. Their sound created a genre that influenced artists and led to the creation of the electronic subgenre house music, with Afrika Bambaata's Planet Rock.
The soul sonic force, the big power, and MC Glow, we emphasize this, so we got ego. Make this your night.
House music became especially popular in the gay club scene in Chicago, where African-American gay men would party together freely in warehouses, which is where the genre gets its name. The culture of house music went against social norms. It was considered a new sound, but as electronic music evolved, house music lost its origin and became more well known with mainstream audiences through artists like Daft Punk in the 90s. This continued with artists such as Martin Garrix representing today's EDM. Since its creation, electronic music has created hundreds of subgenres where artists can identify with multiple styles, making them more accessible to audiences with different music preferences and therefore increasing their profit. These artists have become so popular that people are willing to pay hundreds of dollars to see them live. The parties moved from warehouses in Chicago to entire festivals dedicated to the genre.
Throughout the Hey Brother music video, shared American symbols repeatedly appear, representing cultural and political aspects that are present in modern country music. The video captures how the Vietnam War affects the lives of two men. The relationship between the two brothers in the video creates a construct of brotherhood, a symbol that is not only reflective of war, but also embedded within the nationalistic identity of American culture. The video also compares the experience of war to the enjoyment of freedom through different juxtapositions of images. The image of the two brothers playing with the pennies, for example, then becomes buttons on a soldier's uniform, creating a sense of gratitude and respect toward American soldiers.
What if I'm far from home? Oh brother, I will hear you call. What if I lose it all? Oh sister, I will help you out.
In the 2016 Country Music Awards, Lady Antebellum performed a mashup with the EDM artist Zedd. The only reason for the CMAs to add an EDM artist to their show is for the views. Most believe country music is only adding EDM influences to their music to gain popularity. Country music is lagging behind when it comes to adding new creative influences, so taking a popular genre such as EDM will boost their songs up the charts, even if it is taking away from their culture that country has created, and that many have grown to love.
It's cool. Actually, you know what? I wouldn't listen to it. There we go. That's my answer. I would not listen to it.
Country music, it's alright. It's not my favorite type of music. It's just like not about the type of things that I have in my life, I guess.
I mean, I'm a little hesitant to listen to some. It's not something I really like exactly grew up with, but white country's music is very different.
So like old school country is a lot like common bluegrass now, and I love bluegrass. So I'll listen to like old country artists, but like nowadays country, no thanks.
I like EDM. EDM's great.
EDM, yeah, certain types.
I like the culture behind it more than the music. The music I don't listen to.
Oh no. Oh no. Again, I think it's also like a really big part of like white culture, and so I don't really listen to it. It's gonna be a combination.
So how do you feel about them together?
I'm assuming it's EDM, but it's got that flavor of country in it. Like, how much of this would count? But like Avicii kind of stuff.
I think that's just like something that would totally happen in like today's media culture. Remix is super popular and like smashing genres, so I can see it. I don't know if it would be good, but I can see it.
Probably a lot of banjo.
But this is a very popular style of EDM.
Wait, no, we should all dance to this.
I don't care where you stop and start.
Like the corner.
See, I can't do it. My first question is why. It's like having a rap music video and like the music is rap, but the people in it are dressed in Renaissance clothing.
It's kind of like a cheap style, and I think it's cheating both EDM and country and folk.
I mean, I don't really know what I was expecting, but it definitely wasn't that.
Overall, I don't know how I feel about the genre as a whole. I don't know. What's popular is fucking weird, so I don't know.
Country EDM's relative popularity can be accredited to Avicii and his hit songs, Wake Me Up and Hey Brother. While he created his music with the intent of exploring something new with house music through his incorporations of folk elements, other artists have decided to follow in his footsteps, solely for the sake of making money. Country record label companies have pegged traditional country as becoming too predictable, and that CDM is the way to go, as it is what is currently selling in terms of country music. Avicii himself has described both country and EDM as becoming too homogenized. With this perspective in mind, various country artists like Lady Antebellum, Brad Paisley, and even Rascal Flatts are turning to EDM collaborations in the hopes of topping music charts and record album sales. Rather than making music with the intention of telling a story in mind, like traditional country artists, many are making country EDM with Avicii's mansion and money in their eyes. Much like how Taylor Swift revitalized country with pop influences, more country artists are incorporating electronic dance music into their sound in order to stay relevant and competitive with the growing popularity of CDM. This strategy might be successful though, as younger audiences are tuning in more to the country genre. Country music's dance roots mesh with modern EDM to create a new sound that is appealing to audiences all around the globe. Love it or hate it, country EDM is on the rise, so don't be surprised if music festivals dedicated to country EDM start popping up around the world.